Hey guys, so today we are making pizza from scratch. Everything fresh. I left a list of ingredients you will need at the end of this video. We plan to first work on the sauce. I used fresh heirloom tomatoes from my garden. I actually let them sit on the counter for a week. I peeled off the skin without cooking them or even roasting them, nothing. The skin came right off. We're gonna add those tomatoes into a pan. I smashed it with my hands. I add basil, minced garlic, and some brown sugar and olive oil. That's it. We're gonna let this cook for about 15 minutes. We want it to kind of reduce. It's pretty watery. After this, we are going to work on activating our yeast. You're gonna need some warm water. I used honey, but you can use brown sugar if you'd like. You're gonna let that activate for about 10 minutes. Then we're gonna work on the flour, on the actual dough. That is pretty simple. You do wanna add some salt. Once your yeast water is activated, we're gonna then add that to the dough. After that, you're just gonna let your dough rise for about 20 minutes. You can cut that dough in half if you wish to have a thin crust pizza, but I went ahead and used the entire thing for just a regular pizza. I didn't do a whole crust arrangement. I just kind of pushed it down on the pan. I love to add a bit of cornmeal to the bottom and spray it down with some olive oil. That way it doesn't stick. Before adding any tomato sauce, we have to bake our crust for about 10 minutes. I went for some turkey pepperoni. If you want just regular pepperoni, you could totally do that. Or a margarita pizza, pineapples, which I would have done, but I'm sharing this with somebody else. I make sure to drizzle a bit of olive oil before I add my cheese. And I bake that in the oven for about 22 minutes at 350. This recipe was so easy to make, guys. I can't believe how simple it is to make pizza at home. And it's so fresh. I'm so glad I got to use my tomatoes. When it comes to the cheese, I went for an Italian mix cheese. So it's a mixture of Parmesan cheese, Romano cheese, Reggiano. We had some mozzarella in that too. The purpose of my recipes is to learn how to bake and cook all from scratch. Nothing store-bought except for those ingredients. This delicious gourmet pizza would easily cost you about $28 outside. We spent about $2 on this entire pizza. I garnished the pizza with some fresh basil from the garden and some honey and a cider ranch. Tasted amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe.